Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is the North Brunswick Township Board of Education, our conference and regular public meeting. Today is Wednesday, August 26th. Could we please rise for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Carter.
Here.
Ms. Cepeda.
Here.
Ms. James.
Here.
Mr. Lagori. Dr. Patel.
Here.
Mr. Singh.
Here.
Ms. Sinha. Here. Ms. Toth.
Here.
And Mr. West.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Law, the public notice of this meeting, which included the time, date, and location, was distributed by 3 p.m. on Wednesday, January 28th, 2026 in the following manner. Posted on the bulletin board reserved for announcements in the board office, 25 Linwood Place, North Brunswick. Mailed to the Home News Tribune, Star Ledger, NJ.com, and the clerk of the Township of North Brunswick. Delivered to the 9 duly elected board members. And beginning earlier this year, March 1st, 2026, all future board meeting notices shall be published on the board's official website, www.nbtschools.org, and be made available through the New Jersey Secretary of State's official website in lieu of publication in a newspaper in accordance with PL 2025C.72. Well, good evening, everyone. It's good to see a full audience in the summer. I love to see it. We are approaching the new school year, which we are all getting so excited for. Today we had our convocation, which I had the honor to speak at. Also listened to some of the other great speakers we had, Dr. Zakowski, Mr. Ben Schmoll, the keynote speaker of the day. So it was such a great time to get all staff together, but more importantly tonight, great to see all of you here right before school starts. We have some great presentations, some honorees this evening. So before those get started, I'll turn it over to Dr. Zakowski.
Thank you, Madam President. I first have to ask Ms. Yesenia Morale. Ms. Yesenia, would you, I know you won't, but I'm going to ask anyway. You're listed as first presentation. Would you mind, because I know you're going to find this hard to believe, but our wonderful cheerleaders, I don't know if they're going to be interested in learning about ELL and dynamic learning maps. So would you mind if we put our wonderful cheerleaders and their presentation first? So thank you, for letting us adjust this wonderful presentation. First of all, Madam President and board members, over a year ago when I first came back, I had a great experience. Coach Short was volunteering in our football fundraiser, and I ran into her and I said, "What's going on, Coach?" She goes, "I got this great team, we're coaching." And she said, "I'm cheerleading," and I knew it resonated right away because many people think cheerleaders, they're not teams that compete. But I want to make sure everyone understands, so we have millions of viewers, so I'm kind of giving a lesson. Our cheerleaders today, they are not only team-oriented, hardworking, but they exceed the athletic ability of many, what people think traditional sports. So we're so proud of the work they put in individually and how skilled they are. So when you asked if you remember Coach Short, I said, "We're going to get you a real bus, no school bus." And the board was more than happy, and we went through the search and we got a bus, and you came home and you brought some great hardware. So this year again, without hesitation. And I do want to thank you because there was a little mix-up on the bus, I heard, and not one complaint. I didn't get one call. You guys handled it. What did you do? You went out to a camp and competed against a region, and we're going to hear how the ladies not only represented the team, their school, but also themselves in an exemplary manner. Now, this is going out for millions of viewers, and so board members, what you're also seeing tonight is their wonderful, beautiful new uniforms that they're showing off, and when you look at a team and a team sport and the training and the commitment it takes, they're as good as any team we have at school, or any commitment any students make. So we are very, very proud. So as soon as Coach Short sent me, I said, "I want to know what happened this year." And she sent me this wonderful, I said, you got to come to the Wednesday night meeting. So thank you. It was a long day for our teachers and staff. And so thank you, girls. I know school year is right around the corner. Will you be at the football game Friday night? Yeah, of course you will, because, you guys are, you make it happen. The band, the cheerleaders, and then hopefully our football team will fall right in line, right, with your example. But without further ado, Madam President, I would like to ask Coach Short to come up, talk a little bit about the accomplishment, and then we can read a resolution.
Yes.
Permanently in the minutes, highlighting this wonderful team, and then we'll each give each girl a resolution, and also we're going to give them a pride pin of North Brunswick Township schools that they can wear it in pride, and how proud we are of you. So without further ado, Coach Short.
You might need to hit the button. Yes.
I think it's on.
Yeah.
Yeah?
No? Mr. Patel?
Hello there.
Yep. There we go.
Now? Oh, yeah,
Yes.
that's on. Hi, everyone. I'm Coach Short. I have the pleasure of being these beautiful ladies' coaches. We just went to camp. It's like 2.5 hours away in Pennsylvania, and the girls are in the middle of the woods for 4 days. They're in a cabin with no air conditioning, so they're really getting the full experience out there. They put in a lot of hard work before we go, and when we get there, they always put in the work. This year and last year and the year before that, they became.
For our viewers at home.
Oh, sorry.
We have millions.
Hi. This year, the year before that, and the year before that, we've only gone to camp 4 years. They have came home camp champions. So the past 2 years, we went to a different location, and this year I said I want to give them more of a challenge and put them up against harder teams, and apparently they weren't hard enough because they came home camp champs again. At camp, there's a bunch of awards that happen, and there's something called an All-American, and over the past 4 years total, we've had 29 All-American cheerleaders.
Wow.
So they try out with the whole entire camp, and if they want to, we don't force them to, but a lot of the girls come out of their comfort zones and they try out in front of the whole camp, and on the third day, they only award so many from each grade, and we've had 29 total in the past year become All-American. So they can go to London and be in a parade in London, they can go to Hawaii and be in a parade in Hawaii, they could put this on their resumes growing up. It's just something that represents you not just as a cheerleader, but an overall person. And then 2 years ago, we competed at GMCs. We went back, and the girls took home the first plaque for GMCs. We were runners-up, and that was in the first in North Brunswick Township cheer history. And as an alumni, I was so proud. So now I have a speech.
Please.
Good evening, everyone. First, I want to sincerely thank the Board of Ed for inviting us here tonight and giving us the opportunity to be a part of this meeting. We truly appreciate your support of our program and, of course, the comfortable coach bus that you provided us. It may seem like a small gesture, but it means a lot to our team and allowed our athletes to travel comfortably and safely, so we are very grateful. On a more personal note, standing here tonight means so much more to me because I've had the privilege of experiencing the MBTHS cheer program from 2 very special perspectives. I'm incredibly grateful to be an alumni of this program, and 4 years ago, I was fortunate enough to return to the program as its coach. Coming back to a program that gave me so many memories and experiences has been truly special, but what I didn't realize when I first became a coach was just how much this team would change me. Over the past 4 years, I've had the opportunity to watch our cheerleaders grow, not only as athletes, but as individuals. I have watched them become more confident, learn how to work together, overcome challenges, support one another, and push themselves beyond what they thought they were capable of. Of course, I hope that I have taught them something along the way about commitment, discipline, teamwork, and perseverance, but the truth is they have taught me just as much. They have taught me patience. They have taught me that every athlete learns and grows in their own way and at their own pace. Most importantly, they taught me that coaching is about so much more than cheerleading. It's about building relationships, being there through the good days and the difficult ones, and helping young women become the best versions of themselves. There are moments when I look at these athletes and realize that the skills they are learning on the mat, on the sidelines, and at competitions will carry far beyond cheerleading. They are learning how to handle pressure, how to pick themselves up after a disappointment, how to celebrate each other's successes, and how to be a part of something bigger than themselves. Being able to coach a program that I once called home is something I'll never take for granted. I'm so proud of where this program has been, where it is today, and most importantly, where these young women are going. So to the Board of Ed, thank you again for welcoming us, supporting our program, and investing in our students. And to my cheerleaders, thank you for allowing me to be a part of your journey. You have taught me far more than life than I expected to learn coaching, and I am incredibly proud of each and every one of you. I'm grateful to be your coach, grateful to be an MBTHS cheer alumni, and most of all, grateful to be a part of this community. So thank you again for everything that you guys have done for us.
Well, so well said. Maybe you can introduce your assistant coach, and then we'll bring up, please.
Yes, this is Coach Q. She is my right hand, literally, because I need her.
The coach want to say a few words, please?
So I am not an alumni, but I have cheered my whole life, and these girls are phenomenal. They always give their all. They're up for any challenge. If we want to try a new skill, they'll go for it. They might be a little scared, and they might push each other through it, but they always come, and they're always on the sidelines having so much fun, and it just brings so much joy to me, and I know the fans, especially in hard times.
Yes.
Thank
Well,
you.
Thank you, Coach. So here's what we want to do. Madam President, if maybe you go up and read the resolution.
Sure.
And then we'll bring the girls up, give them their resolution. We'll take some pictures and make sure they get their pins and a copy of the resolution. So, Madam President, why don't you go up and, because within the resolution, I certainly made sure we added all the accomplishments of this last cheer camp, because we memorialize that in a minute. So 50 years from now, when people, you could tell people, say, we came in first place, or we the state champions, and you don't believe me? Let me get a copy of the minutes at the board office. So we'll have it there. Madam President?
Thank you so much. I can just give these to Coach to hand them to the girls. Okay. Why don't we have the girls come up while I read it?
Come on, girls.
Yeah. Head on up. I don't think we've ever had this many people on the dais before. This is awesome. Yeah. All right. Come on up, coaches. All right. So I will read the proclamation, the resolution to be put into our official board minutes. So be it resolved by the Board of Education that the following resolution be approved. Whereas the Board of Education recognizes the efforts of our student athletes to perform at their highest level of interscholastic competition, it also recognizes the accomplishment of exceptional achievement. And whereas through leadership of their coaches with a firm determination to be diligent while preserving excellence, they stand among their peers and represent the North Brunswick Township High School and themselves in an exemplary manner. Now, therefore, be it resolved that this public acclaim be given to the 2026-2027 NBTHS Raider Varsity Cheer Team for their accomplishments at the Pine Forest Varsity Cheer Camp. First place band chant and sideline, second place camp routine, second place cheer, second place overall, 11 All-Americans, 2 finalists in the jump off, 5 Pin It Forward awards, and the only team in the division to bring home a trophy in every category, large varsity division. Be it further resolved that the NBTHS Raider Varsity Cheer Team shall be recognized appropriately, and that a copy of this resolution be spread in the permanent minutes of this board. Congratulations, girls.
make sure you get your pin, and then we're going to take a picture. Madam President, you should join the picture. Okay.
And Coach,
Could we get the coaches on-
The rest of the,
Yeah.
yeah.
Please, coaches, please take our pride pin. We're very proud of the team. Thank you, ladies.
The varsity jacket.
Make sure everybody gets one. I have extra. Yes. Need work?
Oh, you have one? Okay. Everyone got that resolution? Okay, great. All right, we're gonna go.
Coach, do you think your girls can?
Oh, yeah,
You guys got a photo? Maybe take the front line. Kneel down. There we go. All right.
To make a pyramid.
I was a bit thinking to it. This is the best photo so far.
And we got many cameras behind it. Doc.
Yes, I'll move out of the way. All right. Here we go.
Can we get the rest of the board up here?
Absolutely.
For the group picture?
Sure.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Awesome. You remember the team? Come on.
You just get these
Pops.
We might need another layer down. Another layer down. All right.
Hey, Rosie. All right.
Last row is good.
Good?
Thank you. We're among greatness, everyone, so smile. Come on.
We're among greatness.
Yes.
Right? Thank you, guys.
Friday. Thank you. Thank you. Coaches, thank you.
Yes, of course.
Thanks, Coach. Thank you. Parents, thank you. Unbelievable.
Good to see you.
I know, yeah.
He's my brother. Is he really? Yeah. Did you know connection? We used to get to get out.
Thank you for everything.
Yep.
See you.
Thank you, ladies, for being here, and congratulations again. Yeah, so awesome. All right. Okay, well, we do have another presentation this evening. Thank you, Mr. Patella. Dr. Z, would you want to introduce the
Sure.
next presentation?
As you know, Dr. Johnson, as part of our, he's our Director of Accountability and Special Programs. He's here today, one of our cabinet members, and with Dr. Christopher Harry, our Director of Pupil Personnel Services, and Ms. Yesenia Morales. They're going to be here talking about the ELL and dynamic learning maps. And I meant to, Ms. Morales is our ELL and world language supervisor. So they're here, and thank you for allowing us to flip the script on the presentations. Doc?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Dr. Z, board members, and millions of viewers and guests. Please forgive my back. This evening, we have a couple presentations for you. So our first one that we're going to do tonight will be connected to what you see on the screen is our MBT Schools Access for ELS, which is our English language learner results that we received from their spring assessments. That data actually just came in to us, preliminary actually came just earlier this month. And so now we have the opportunity where we need to share it at the board within a certain time window. And so today we're going to do that. And our second one will be a dynamic learning map Well, so I will begin with the first presentation here. This evening, you'll see myself speak about a few slides, as well as one of our supervisors, Ms. Yesenia Morales, who is our K-12 World Language, ESL, and bilingual supervisor. A mouthful there, quite honestly. Please forgive me, could not find the clicker this evening. Not sure
I
where
have
that
it.
is. Oh, see, you're the culprit.
Keep going, Doc. I'm very possessive of that. You see me at home with the TV?
That's all right. Looking for, running around. Like,
Really?
I'll keep going while he's here. So first, we'll start with our weed of Access for Ls. Please proceed there. Dr. Ellis is my assistant. Thank you so much. So what is our Access for Ls? And just so we have a little quick, brief summary and overview for you, it's our assessment of comprehension and communication in English state to state for English language learners. You might hear the state talk about MLs or multilingual language learners. Those are our students as well. But they still do, the state does go back and forth a bit. Since I've already got my assistant, I like my assistant. Technology works when it wants to work. It's a little finicky as well. But you'll hear that interchange. We'll talk about our ELLs here, but the state does use that terminology with multilingual. So if you read any headlines and press, those are the students we're talking about where English is not a first language for themselves as well. But this is an assessment that we do give, that it happens to be secure online, a large scale of it in English language arts, math, and we run it from kindergarten through 12th grade. That is the mandate and the requirement that we do. So those students are assessed. It's administered annually, typically beginning about the month of February as well. We have about an 8-week window in which we have to administer that assessment to all of our students. And we do it with our ESL teachers as well. And there's a combination of, we look at this ELL data that we get from the state, we look at our local benchmark assessments, since we do MAP testing and WE, and any of our units and common assessments that we have for formal and informal assessments as well. Try to triangulate the data to try to get a better grasp and picture of where our students are, not just on that one snapshot that we get that happens at that one time of the year. We want to kind of know where they are. So with our students access testing for experience, our classrooms I mentioned, grades K through 12. It's a small group setting with students and teachers when we give that assessment as well, because they do get the testing accommodations. Completing all required training we have to do for our staff. That is a requirement. We keep records of that, where we do train our staff before they administer the assessment so they're familiar with protocols and making sure that the assessments do count. And that we also have here to pass for Access for L's training quiz. There's like a little 80% that we have to make sure we meet that to make sure we're fully prepared to administer and do things the correct way. If not, we need to pause, make sure we have the information we have before we proceed to administer to give our students every opportunity to be successful. Teachers are permitted to help our students with technology questions. That's one of the things they do allow us to do, is answer technology questions, not the answers to the test, but the technology questions themselves. Teachers could clarify directions. That might be a rephrase or restate from a student as well. And students work at their own pace. It's not like, you put a time stamp to say you've got 40 minutes and only 40 minutes is it. So they do get the accommodation of extended time where need be. All right, with our access administration, as I mentioned earlier, we begin it in February. We ran it from February 2nd to March 27th for our reading, listening, speaking, and writing. Each domain takes anywhere from 50 to about 90 minutes. Tests are structured in following clusters of tiers A to C, C being the highest. And we do the testing and the clustering between just grade K by itself, grade 1, grade 2 to 3 in a grade band, 4 or 5 as a band, 6 through 8 as a band, and 9 through 12 as a band. And we'll see some of the data as Ms. Morales does speak a bit about that. There are some grade bands and ranges, you'll see that as well. A student must have started the test in order to receive a summative score. So if a student never starts, there's no score to be generated as well. We can tell you that we successfully assessed 525 students within our district, and many of the board members have been here, and you've seen over the past 4 to 5 years, we've seen an increase in our English language learner population. I want to say that we've been kind of like on that scale of about 35% increase over the last 4 years, so those numbers have been steadily climbing as well. Each domain is scored, plus scores are earned in oral language, composition, literacy, and overall score as well. So at this point here, I'm going to invite up Ms. Yesenia Morales to come on up, so she will take it on from here.
So, welcome everyone. So, as Dr. Johnson was saying, students in grades 1 through 12 are administered the test via computers. However, our grades 1 through 3, they do the writing portion on
on paper. So grades 1 through 3 on paper, and then grades 4 through 12 do the entire test online. Our kindergarten students do administer it one-on-one. So those our students then are tested individually, and the test is a little bit more immersive, a little bit more interactive. So our students, and also because they're little guys, are tested individually. Next slide. Before we look at our district results, though, I want to just explain briefly the proficiency levels and how they are reported. So Access identifies the performance through 6 different proficiency levels. The first one being entering, emerging, developing, expanding, bridging, and reaching. And the scores range from 1 through 6. In New Jersey, a 4.5 or higher is one of the criteria that we consider to determine whether or not a student that is in ESL services will exit the program. It is important to understand, though, that these levels specifically just measure a student's developmental of academic English. They do not measure a student's social English or academic potential. Instead, they help us really to understand where a student is in the language acquisition process and the level of support that they need to access grade level instruction. So as we review the upcoming slides, we want to see the movement over time from earlier proficiency levels towards developing, expanding, and so on and so forth. So the next slide. So at the K4 level, we tested 294 MLs. We looked at the distribution by grade. We see that the progression we would expect as students receive additional years of language instruction. So our kindergarteners, as usual, have the largest percentage of students at the entering level at 74%. This is not unexpected. Many of our little guys, our little multilingual learners, our MLs, are entering school at the very beginning stages of their English language journey. But by 1st and 2nd grade, we begin to see that our students are moving into emerging and developing. So in 2nd grade, for example, we can see that 65% of our students are already in that developing range. That movement continues in 3rd grade, where 56% of them are developing, and another 18% are in expanding. So by 4th grade, the profile shifts considerably. By 45% of our students are expanding, with students also beginning to reach the bridging and reaching levels. This is an important pattern because it demonstrates that with sustained instruction and academic supports, our elementary MLs are progressing through their language development continuum. This slide particularly is helpful because it looks at the changes from one year to the next. So the first column represents the changes in the 2 earliest proficiency levels, entering and emerging. In most grade level transitions, we see those percentages decrease. At the same time, we see students are moving into developing and the expanding categories. The strongest example is the transition from 1st to 2nd grade, where there was a 32% point reduction in entering and emerging, and a corresponding 32-point increase in developing and expanding. We also see strong movement from 3rd to 4th grade, a 17-point decrease in the earliest proficiency levels, with a 23-point increase in developing and expanding, and additional increase in students in reaching and bridging and reaching. These shifts are encouraging because they really reflect the continued growth in our students' English language proficiency and their ability to engage more independently with grade level instruction. So these areas we'll continue to examine, for example, movement with the higher proficiency bands, but overall, the elementary data shows encouraging progression. At the upper elementary and middle school levels, we tested 148 students. Across those grades, most students are concentrated in developing and expanding. In 5th grade, 31% of our students are developing and 33% are expanding, with another 8% reaching bridging. 6th grade had a particularly large concentration, 52% in the developing range. In 7th grade, 47% of our students are developing, while in 8th grade, 33% are developing and expanding, and 38% are expanding. One point I do want to emphasize is that as students do become older, the language demands of the school also become more complex. Students are no longer only learning conversational English, foundational English. They are expected to interpret increasingly sophisticated texts, explain their reasoning, write across all content areas, and use discipline-specific academic vocabulary. For that reason, we continue language supports at the middle school levels remains essential even for our students that may appear socially fluent. When we examine the growth across 5th through 8th grade, again, we see evidence of movement through the proficiency levels. From 6th to 7th grade, the percentages of students in entering and emerging decreased by 3 points, while developing and expanding increased by 3 points. The strongest movement, though, is from 7th to 8th grade. There is a 15-point decrease in entering and emerging, accompanied by a 15-point increase in developing and expanding. The 5th to 6th grade cohort also shows a 13-point increase in developing and expanding, although we did see a decrease in the highest proficiency bands. That is something our department looks at more closely at the student level. We aggregate the percentages, provide us with an important overview, but our data team process also allows us to identify which individual students are progressing as expected, which students may have plateaued, and which students required more targeted intervention. Our focus moving forward is not simply on whether students are growing, but are ensuring that their growth is sufficient to move them towards English proficiency. At the high school level, we tested 114 multilingual learners. One of our most noticeable patterns here is a larger percentage of students at the entering and emerging levels in 10th through 12th grade. For example, in 10th grade, 71% of our students fall within entering or emerging, and in 11th grade, that increases to 78%, and in 12th grade, 92% of our students represented those two early proficiency levels. It is important that we interpret this data, though, with the context that our high school multilingual, it's a high school multilingual learner population. Our secondary MLs include students who entered the district with fewer years available to them to develop English before graduation. They may also be simultaneously learning English while also completing their high school graduation requirements and mastering, once again, very complex academic content. This creates a different instructional challenge for us that we see than what we see at the elementary school level. For these students, our work, it has to be more intentional. They need access to grade level content while also really receiving intensive language development, literacy instruction, and appropriate scaffolds. This is one of the reasons our secondary programming and our work with our long-term ML learners is an important focus for us moving forward. So this slide provides a comparison between the secondary proficiency band movement from the prior reporting period. What immediately stands out is the increase in student represented in the entering and emerging categories as students move through the upper levels, along with the corresponding decrease in developing and expanding. Rather than looking at these numbers, however, in isolation, this data does tell us that where we need to ask additional questions. Are we seeing students where we're entering, the district later in their academic careers? Are those students, are there students who remained in ESL services for several years without sufficient progress? Are the literacy skills or interrupted educational experiences affecting their language development? So those are the things that we're looking towards as to why we had that. And those are the types of questions right now that are going to guide our student level data review. At the high school level in particular, we just can't assume that additional time alone will result in proficiencies. Students who demonstrate limited growth require intentional planning with targeted language literacy and content area support. And that connects directly to the program improvements that I will be discussing. So one of the major areas of work that we have been doing to strengthen the consistency of our instruction across the district is implementing a clear K-12 curriculum structure, which is designed to address all the different literacy needs that for our students in the various grade levels. At the elementary level, we are using Benchmark for grades K through 6 in our bilingual and ESL classes. For grades 7 and 8, we are incorporating bridges and rewards, and at the secondary level, we have our teachers are using our National Geographic program, which is Engage, Lift, and Rewards. These resources allow us to provide more targeted instruction rather than treating all MLs learners as though they have all the same instructional needs. We have also expanded our use of our Summit K-12 platform. Summit K-12 is not just another program, but we do use this program to support progress monitoring, targeted intervention, and access preparation. The goal is to give our teachers multiple sources of data throughout the year so that we're not waiting until our annual access results arrive to determine whether a student is making sufficient progress. Slide. Our second area of focus is creating a stronger district-wide approach to language development. We are going to continue to implement our quarterly ESL data team meetings where our teachers analyze student progress, examine our access data, and establish language development goals for our students. This work allows us to become more proactive instead of identifying concerns after a student has struggled for several years. We want to identify the limited growth early and respond appropriately. Professional learning is another critical part of this work. Language development cannot only occur during the ESL period. Multilingual learners spend the majority of their school day with general ed teachers and content-specific area teachers. For that reason, we continue to offer SIOP or SEI training for all of our teachers while also providing targeted professional development for our ESL and bilingual teachers. Finally, we are strengthening the monitoring of our long-term multilingual learners, students who remain in our program over an extended period of time. We are doing a closer review of their individual progress. When students demonstrate limited growth, we're going to develop our action plans more clearly that identify their specific language or literacy need, the intervention that's going to be provided, and how we will monitor whether that intervention is working. Ultimately, the purpose of all our initiatives are the same, is to ensure that every ML has access to rigorous instruction while developing the academic English necessary to succeed independently. So overall, when we look at the access results, we are looking at much more than just an annual test score. We're looking at how effectively our students are developing their language. They need to participate fully in our classrooms, demonstrate what they know, meet graduation expectations, and ultimately transition successfully out of our program. These are the areas in our data that are encouraging, particularly in the movement we see across our elementary and middle school. There are also areas that require continued attention, particularly in our secondary students and students who demonstrate limited growth over time. The important point is that we're using that data intentionally. We are strengthening our curriculum, expanding progress monitoring, increasing our professional learning, and creating more systematic processes for identifying and responding to our students. Our MLs bring tremendous linguistic and cultural assets to North Brunswick school community. Our responsibility is to ensure that they have the instructional access, language development, and support necessary to be successful. So thank you for your continued support for our multilingual learners. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Morales, 1 second, or Dr. Johnson. Board members, questions, comments, thoughts?
Just comments, because you did such a wonderful job with the presentation, and I feel like you all asked and answered a lot of the questions that we normally would be asking with this presentation. Obviously, we've been keeping an eye on the influx of this ELL population that's coming in, providing a language-rich environment so that they can thrive. But we also understand how critically sensitive this work is, and I just want to thank you all for the support that you're giving to those students. So, well done.
Thank you.
Ms. Morales, great presentation. Thank you for the clarification. I had a question. Is there anything we could do as a school board or school district, I should say, that we could get the parents involved? I know these are multilingual people, come from different diverse backgrounds, but is there any type of recommendations that we could send home either on, I believe it's Parent Square, or just a letter saying that, hey, you know, for this grade, we recommend your child maybe 10 minutes a day or 15 minutes a day read or do this activity or something, just to see the improvement in the grades? I mean, they're fantastic grades that, you know, the improvements are there, but obviously we want to see, you know, we want better. You know, we would hope for better, right? So.
Actually, our Summit K-12 program offers at-home English English access, so parents can learn alongside their students with their child. So we are, because that's a new feature that they added this
Right.
year, so we are going to be sending that home to our parents, letting them know that they can log on Summit K-12 and practice along their child and learn English with them as well.
Okay, I mean, that's great, because, I mean, I think that's really important, and also, sometimes I feel that our communication can be better, so maybe, I don't know if you guys want to do it a couple of times where people get the message, because I know a lot of parents, I mean, I come from an immigrant family, right? When we used to get messages at home or papers that came home, my parents were like, oh yeah, this pertains to you, nothing to do with them. But, so I know a lot of people overlook all that stuff, so I don't know if you guys could, make sure that message reiterated a couple of times to get the message across.
Absolutely.
Thank you, but great presentation.
Thank you.
Better than Dr. Johnson there.
Any other?
Yeah, one quick question. Thank you for the presentation as well. What are the requirements are there requirements that you can test out of like the access assessment? Is it the 4.5?
It's the 4.5, that's
Okay.
the PET score, and it's multiple points of data. So not only just the 4.5, but our multilingual students have to be also performing at grade level with their peers. So
Gotcha.
we do have to take a look at their NJSLA scores or their MAP scores to see that they're performing at level before we let them out of the program and into gen ed
Gotcha.
classrooms.
So is it because I'm trying to remember there was a higher number of students in the like K-8 grades than the high school grades. So is testing out of the program some of the contributing factors to that data?
So usually what we see is that our elementary and middle school students tend to exit out of the program a lot earlier, especially if they've entered our program since kindergarten. We usually see by 4th, 5th grade max, they exit out. What we are seeing is that students that transfer in later into the program that are newcomers, those students do struggle, which does make sense because as we get older, language is not something that we acquire easily. After age 11, it becomes a little bit harder for the brain to learn it. It's not as fun. So it takes a little bit longer, and then so that's why students in the higher levels tend to take a little bit longer to exit out of the program, and we don't see them go from one level as rapidly as you see it in the elementary
Gotcha.
and middle school level.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you again, and just so the board knows, and our million viewers, Yeseni's birthday was yesterday, so we wish you a
happy
belated happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Actually, Mr. Carter, you had a good question there, because I had it in my notes that nobody answered it yet. I was waiting. 4.5 was the number, absolutely, as well. There's been a lot of work we've done curricular in another area, so even when our students do exit, we make sure we do have quality resources that can be used when they join that general education or general population with the resources that are available to them. So that's also something else that we continue to do when we do any purchase. We look forward to make sure we account for our multilingual language learners. Because if we don't, we'll lose them and leave them behind, so we try not to do that.
Dr. Johnson, just a question. I mean,
Yes.
now that you brought this up, so did Mr. Carter. Is there any KPI or anything that we have in place that once they exit out, we monitor their progress? Or
Yes, we do. We, by New Jersey statute, we have to monitor them for 2 years.
Okay.
And federally, we need to monitor them for 4 years.
Okay.
So we use our Elevation platform to monitor their progress. So we usually send out progress forms to all of their gen ed teachers once they're out of our program. And then, and we also monitor them also for federal compliance. as
perfect.
well.
Okay, great. Thank you.
No problem.
Something else too, in that parent engagement piece, I know Mr. Morales didn't mention it, but we do parent forums. That's something where we try to make it agreeable for them. We've tried to do a virtual one for those who can't make it, but they really want to be engaged. We tried to do the in-person one. We've done it the last 2 years, 2.5 years. So that's something that we continually attempt to try to do to make it available for parents to come to us, where we're here to help them and serve as a resource as well. So those are outreach efforts. Those are things that we continue to do as part of our action plan.
Excellent.
Okay.
Thank
Also,
you.
have you seen cases when in the early grades they exited out of the program and you monitored for the next 2 years? Did they come back, or situations have we ever
You
observed?
could see that. You could see that, honestly. It depends if they're with us, those are probably very minor cases, very, very few we'll find. If anything, if a family's moved out, we don't know where they've gone to and what they've done or been engaged, and they come back. It's almost like that. It's like that summer gap, we call it, that summer lag. And we don't know what they got on the other side, and they come back. It's like, well, you left us, they were doing pretty good, but what happened, we don't know, but we try to meet them where they are and figure out, okay, let's see if this child truly is there, and if we give them some time, how do we support them with all the supports before we trying to pull you back in.
If I can also add, we haven't had any cases of reclassification. We do test if a student, like Dr. Johnson did say, if they do transfer out and they come back in, and I have it noted in Genesis that they were an ESL student, we will retest them, ensure that they need continued services, or we'll reach out to their prior district to ask and do a records review to see if they exited the ESL program there or if they need to continue services.
Great.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Ready to move forward?
Ready.
Thumbs up. Perfect. Thank you. All right, so the next presentation we'll have will be about the DLM assessment results, dynamic learning mapping. This is an assessment that is given to our special ed students in the spring, so we have that preliminary result data as well right now. And at this point, I'm going to invite Dr. Harry, who is our Director of Student Pupil Services, and he will give an overview in terms of what the DLM is and the assessment and what does it show us, and go through some of the data points as well. Dr. Harry?
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. Appreciate it. Good evening, everybody. I am going to attempt to flip the screen. The lighting is rough for me, so if I'm squinting, I apologize. All right. Dynamic learning maps. So dynamic learning maps is the assessment. It's an alternate assessment for students with special needs. Okay? It is a small group of special needs students that have significant intellectual disabilities. The state of New Jersey would like to have under 1% of our students with disabilities taking the dynamic learning map, so, you know, just a small percentage. Dynamic learning map shows the relationships between skills and multiple learning pathways. Instead of assuming that all children learn a skill in the same way, allowing for multiple pathways recognizes that there are alternate ways to learn the same skill. You have to understand that the skills that are being tested are modified state grade level skills. And again, these are students with specific significant disabilities. So typically, they're not working on grade level skills. They're working on their independent skills that are identified in their IEPs. The learning map is a network of sequenced learning targets and shows a learning landscape in which multiple skills are related to many other skills. It ensures that we are meeting the state and federal testing mandate for students with severe disabilities by testing them against the New Jersey standards. So previously, before DLM, they had portfolio assessments. These students had portfolio assessments that were based off of their IEP goals. Some people might say that that might be a more accurate representation of their growth. Again, these are state standards that are modified and are not related to their IEP goals, and it's on the computer. Students within this classification are asked to demonstrate their knowledge on links to the grade level standards with the assistance of staff to guide their work, but not their answers. So they're working with their teachers that are trained. They have to have training before they work with the students on the test. Again, the teachers can't help answer any of the questions. While we can possibly use pieces of the test scores to inform our staff and administrators, the results are focused on one student and can't be compared or generalized to the scores of grade level peers. So different than what you might have seen with Yesenia or with the larger standardized test scores in the district. This is really focused on student-specific growth. Students with severe or significant disabilities that take the test are assessed several times a year on their personal academic growth and yearly on their goals in their IEP. So that's where we put our work in, right? We develop the IEP. It's very individualized. We're working on specific goals for the students all year long to provide that information to parents and to guide the instruction for these students from year to year. We're not really going to use the DLM as our guidance for our students. Students' ELM testing experience, they're tested in grades 3 through 8 and 11. It's in a one-to-one setting. The teachers, as I said, are trained. They're certified either in English, math, or science. Permitted to help the students with technology questions, and teacher can clarify directions. Students work at their own pace. It's generally 5 to 15 minutes at a clip. It's not hours. ELM logistics, spring 2026 administration consisted of one testing window, April 6th to May 22nd, for ELA and math and science. ELA equaled about 5 to 7 test sessions per grade level, and science equaled about 9 sessions. And again, it was about 5 to 15 minutes. So it's not a lengthy test. It's very focused. And the state, thankfully, instead of working on a lot of standards, kind of shortened or reduced the amount of standards and tried to go maybe a little bit deeper into those standards. A student must have started a test in order to receive a summative DLM report in the tested content areas. Successfully tested 56 students in ELA and math and 22 in science. So the mastery levels are a little different than the other testing, right? So you have emerging, approaching the target, at target, and advanced. Again, the test generates no raw scores, no percentages or scaled scores. They're based on the student's probability of mastering each skill statewide. Students typically perform in the emerging and approaching categories. A summary of the student's mastery of each essential element is what's relayed on the student record. So we can use that information and incorporate it with all the other information that we have for the students throughout the year, including child study team testing. We use that as well. Okay. So we'll get into the different grade levels. The first slides, will be the number of students and where they are in the different cut areas. And then the following slide will be the difference between 2025 and 2026. Just again, remember the difference between 2025 and 2026, while there may be a difference, might not actually give us a lot of information, right? Because anything could happen individually for any of these students, okay? Different grade levels, something may be happening at home, there may be the disability, preclude them from being able to do some type of the work, okay? So 26 students in grades 3 through 5 for ELA were tested. 62% were in emerging, 23% were in approaching, 15% were at target, and 0% were at advanced. So that sounded great. And then now you see this slide and you'd say, oh, well, red indicates either an increase in an area or decrease of students in that area. So changes in emerging was a plus 7%. So we added 7% of students between 2025 and 2026 in the emerging area. Obviously, if you're talking about standardized testing, you're trying to get into the the target areas. But this is a very different assessment, so you can't really equate the two. Okay. Changes in approaching. Oh, sorry. Changes in approaching was plus 3, changes in target was minus 10, and there was no change in advanced. English language arts 6 through 8 and 11, 44% were emerging, 34% were approaching, 16% at target, and 6% at advanced, so that looks good. And then you look at the comparison to 2025, 2026, which may or may not, as I might suggest, doesn't give us a lot of useful information. And I know I'm going out on a limb there. Generally speaking, you like to be able to use these tests to inform the instruction for the students, and it's not as reliable as maybe we would like it to be. Changes in emerging equals negative 6%, so that's good. We, reduced the amount of students in the emerging, and hopefully they moved over, right? Because there's plus 2% in the advanced. Mathematics grades 3 through 5, there was 26 students again. 57% were in emerging, 12% were in approaching, 23% were at target, and 8% were in advanced. And there you see the difference between 2025 and 2026. Might I also add that not all the same students that were tested in 2025 in DLM were the same students in 2000 that were tested in DLM in 2026. Again, the state really tries to push us to have 1% or less than 1% of our special needs population tested in DLM. The rest would be moved to regular standardized testing. So 32 students at the 6th through 8th and 11th grade levels in mathematics were tested. 50% were emerging, 25% were approaching, 25% were at target, and 0% were in advanced. Area. That's our area of progress, you could say. And 24 students, 5th through 8th and 11th in science were tested. 71% were emerging, 21% were approaching, 4% were at target, and 4% were in advanced. And there's our changes between 2025, 2026. So this is a general conclusion, but then I'd like to, read a little summary that I worked with our supervisors at each level just to kind of review, because we have to review the DLM results, obviously, and then try to determine what students, year to year, IEP to IEP, should then be tested DLM or in the general testing. Okay, so in general, upper grade level students performed better in mathematics and showed some improvement in ELA. Next steps and interventions, we're going to continue to monitor students' progress towards their specific IEP goals. That's what the law requires, and that's what we're going to do. That's what we focus on. I've said it every time that I'm up here. We're focused on the individual student. They're like our children. We treat them like that. They're like our family members, and we want to develop the most individualized education plan that we can for them. And you, as the board, you have always supported that, and that's what makes North Brunswick different than other school districts, because we've always done that here. That's how our programs operate, and it's difficult. It's difficult for business administrators, it's difficult for the superintendent, it's difficult for the board to provide all the programs, but you do, and you do it well. Let's see. So continue next steps, monitor IEPs, right? Continue to provide targeted instruction in language arts, math, and students' academic levels. So that might mean certain programs mathematically or with reading that we're implementing, not necessarily focused exactly on the information from DLM, but focused on the information from the child study team and the ongoing data that we receive daily on the students from the teachers. We're going to engage in instructional walkthroughs at each grade level to provide staff and administrators with valuable feedback pertinent to special education programs. We have a lot of PD on that. So as we go through the classrooms, as we work through each situation, specifically with each teacher in each classroom and each administrator, we try to provide the assistance, the programs, the materials, the PD that is required to support our students. Let me just read the summary. Just bear with me, please. The 2025-26 Dynamic Learning Map results provide our district with an encouraging picture of student progress while also helping us identify meaningful opportunities for continued growth. The DLM is New Jersey's online alternative assessment, as we know, for students with the most significant intellectual disabilities, and provides students with an opportunity to demonstrate their knowledge and skills in relation to grade level standards through individualized pathways. The DLM recognizes that students do not learn in the same way or at the same pace. Instead, it represents a network of sequenced learning targets in which multiple skills are connected, allowing us to better understand each student's individual academic journey. Our 2025-26 results demonstrated several important areas of success, most notably mathematics performance in the 6, 8, and 11 showed substantial improvement. The percentages of students performing at target increased by 25 percentage points, while the percentage of students in the emerging category decreased by 32 percentage points. This represents a significant shift toward higher levels of demonstrated academic mastery. We also saw encouraging signs in English language arts in the upper grades. Among students in grades 6, 8, and 11, the percentage performing in the emerging category decreased by 6 percentage points, while advanced performance increased by 2%. 20% increase in the approaching target category is also noteworthy, suggesting that many students are demonstrating developing skills and moving along their individualized learning pathways. Mathematics in grades 3 through 5 also demonstrated an encouraging increase in academic performance, rising by 8 percentage points. While there are areas that require continued attention, this growth reinforces the importance of maintaining high expectations and providing students with appropriately challenging instruction. The results also confirm an important trend identified in our district analysis that upper grade students generally perform better than lower grade students on this test. At the same time, the results provide us with valuable information about where we can continue to strengthen our programming. English language arts and mathematics in the lower grade levels, as well as science across 5, 8, and 11, remain important areas for targeted instruction. Science in particular provides an opportunity to further develop students' access to grade level scientific concepts and essential elements. It's important to remember that DLM results are not intended to be interpreted in the same manner as traditional standardized test results. The assessment does not produce raw scores, percentage, or scale scores. Rather, it provides information about students' probability of mastering the individualized essential elements. The results should therefore be viewed as one component of a whole picture of the students. Ultimately, these results reflect the dedication of our students, the teachers, the related service providers, paraprofessionals, administrators, and our families. Our students continue to demonstrate that they are capable of meaningful academic growth when provided with individualized instruction, appropriate support, high expectations, and opportunities to demonstrate what they know. We should celebrate the progress reflected in these results while remaining focused on what comes next. Our continued commitment will be to monitor each student's progress, provide targeted instruction, and use instructional walkthroughs to strengthen our instructional program. The DLM results remind us that success is not defined by one single score. Success is measured by growth, increased independence, skill development, and each student's continued movement along their individualized pathway. This year's results provide us with both accomplishments to celebrate and opportunities to build upon, while we continue working to ensure that every student has the opportunity to learn, grow, and achieve at their own pace. Thank you. Questions?
Again, no questions, but comments. I would be remiss not to comment on the DLM just because I am very passionate about special education. I know how much work you all put into that population. And I just love when we have these presentations when we're talking about not just our general education population and the NJSLA and the NJGPA, but what's happening with our more vulnerable populations, which are our ELL students and our special education students. So want to commend your department for all that they're doing. The DLM in this situation for this past year has only tested 58 students, meaning that 58 students are our most severely disabled as far as intellectual disabilities, which I think is a good number. It may not be the 1% that they're looking for, but I think it's a good number considering the size and population of our district and the size and population of our special education student population.
Right.
And as you mentioned, this is just one factor, right? So when we're thinking about the capabilities of our students, we're not just focusing on what they can do academically, but we're looking at what they can do as far as functional skills and daily living skills and what they are good at. So I just wanted to highlight that.
That's exactly correct. I appreciate the board's support always for all of our programs, for all of our students.
Dr. Harry, I have a question for you. Thank you again for what you guys do, you and your team members, what you guys do, especially with the special education department. My question was, compared to standardized testing and standardized program, the curriculum that we have, when you guys are actually testing the DLM program, is it lighter material, or do they get longer times for the assessments, or how does this work? I'm sure, I've had that question, I'm sure other people.
It's really like grade level standards from the general test.
Right.
And then they're drilled down to a level that might be more attainable
For them.
with significant intellectual skills.
Okay.
So, that's the best explanation.
And as far as time length of their learning and the testing?
It generally 5 to 15 minutes. It's a very short
Okay.
test.
Mhm.
It's more focused. Again, before when DLM originally came out, there was more standards that they were testing, and then they figured out that's probably not a great idea. Let's focus on some
Core values.
core standards, and then somebody used to call it a FAR link,
Okay.
or the link to the standard.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that.
You know, I find it really interesting that, you said that the younger students, typically don't do as well as the older ones. And I think in life we see that, right? Because as our children are, being diagnosed, as the families are struggling to determine, if there is a special needs, it takes time, for everybody to kind of get on board to know what's best for that child. So to see that our older special ed students are, doing better because now they are in the right program, right? They're
Mhm.
getting the right help that they need, and in their IEPs. So it really just, again, I think we commend you and your team for all that you do.
Thank you. When you're talking about that in the younger grades, in my brain, I'm thinking that's, what you might see up here at the board is maybe a larger increase in the budget on related services or teachers at the younger grades, because we try to inundate, we try to really push the services and provide the services at the younger grades so that we can bring them along because they're just diagnosed, right? So that's what you might see budget-wise, but that's, that's what you're talking about, so that's the growth.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, very good. Thank you so much, Dr. Johnson, Dr. Harry, Ms. Morales for being here tonight. Thank you, Dr. Ellis, for the laptop over there. We appreciate it. And these presentations are always really great for us to see, right? I mean, again, it's not just about the AP test results or the gen ed score. It's about all of our students. And so it's really good to have these presentations every summer, especially for our newer board members that, this is your first time.
Amazing.
Yeah, seeing this information, this is really great. And it's, time honored that we do this every summer. So thank you. So at this time, we do have the rest of our agenda to get to. Jumping to page 2, our meeting minutes. Mr. Singh, would you please take item 6?
Yes. I'd like to make a motion to approve the following board minutes. Special meeting July 17, 2026. Executive minutes June 17, 2026. Regular public meeting July 29, 2026. Executive minutes July 29, 2026.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion? The minutes are accepted.
Thank you. Assuming we have no communications this evening, I'll just jump to item 8, our reports. Dr. Zukowski, your administrative report at this time.
Yes, good evening. Part of my report, we honor today our wonderful achievements for our girls cheers team. But I do want to wish everyone a happy end of the summer as we begin, because this is, as I mentioned to our folks at the convocation, educators, our summer is marked on when school returns. So even though September 20th is a long way away from here, another month, for us, summer is beginning. And saying that, we had our annual staff convocation today, and we were honored to have our mayor, our board president, board vice president, many board members, and I thank you for that, for showing the value that you put into our staff. And the kickoff today, our marching band performed with our color guard, some opening speakers, welcoming, and we had a great keynote speaker, one of our staff members, Ben Schmall, who gave a heartfelt, inspirational speech. In fact, some of our retired administrators who first hired Mr. Schmall came back to honor him, and it was, I believe, a great kickoff to the school year. I do see our union president, Ms. Beth Pasner, here. I teased her in a podium because I had the microphone last, and I said it was her calendar, but I really want to thank the association, our staff. We are entering in a very different calendar this year, and it's through mutual agreements that we were able to get this done. As we know, and the community will hear about our construction, our updates going forward, but we want to end in the beginning of June. We should, I don't want to jinx the winter months, but we're hoping that we can get done early June, so that would allow us the time to complete many of our projects. The summer is such a short turnover. So this year, very quick turnover from the end of school year of 26, now 26, 27, we kicked it off. Just some updates for the board members. As you may have heard, we'll have Mayor Womack and I will put back the team together and start doing a podcast talking about the community, some of the great things going on in schools. We'll start bringing on guests. We're going to jump in slow. We'll have the first one taped, and then we're going to try some live call-ins. So board members and key community members, expect some calls, as we'll be glad to put you on our podcast. So looking forward to that, and working with the mayor again as we develop a great rapport during the doing this kind of show during the COVID era, let's say. Tuesday, September 1 is our first day of school. September 1, 2026, this Tuesday coming. I just want to give thanks to all those staff members, even our faculty who are only 10 months, coming in, adjusting their schedules to get their rooms ready, get our grounds ready, in between cranes, planes, and trains, and automobiles, blocking our progress as we have beautiful new commons at the high school, flooring. Our parking lot at Parsons is being worked on and finishing up new flooring, and our second floor at Linwood. And of course, new bathrooms in JA and LP. So in addition to all the reworking and updating of our classrooms, our regular floors being stripped and ready for our students. So much is going on. I just want to thank everyone, as there's no downtime in our summer. And that's not even, I'm not even talking about the curriculum revisions that you're approving tonight, and all of the academic work and planning, just all of the huge maintenance that goes on that keeps our school ready for the kickoff. Speaking of logistics and footprint, you may have noticed this, New Jersey traffic is terrible. We have a wonderful transportation department, and probably 99% of the time we're on time, on schedule, despite the weather, accidents, not by us, by others, and construction and so on. Now, I do want to make mention to our family and friends listening that there's going to be a long-term project on the Adams Lane Bridge. I do want to emphasize the board is represented, our transportation, our business administrator, myself. We've been on the community meetings with the mayor and his staff, but I want to emphasize this is a state project, a state road, state responsibility. It was supposed to start off 5 years ago, but because of the complexities of including Amtrak and their schedules and their rerouting, it's been 5 years in the making. So they will be starting. So we are asking for a little extra patience, a little more flexibility as from our staff, as they're going to be rerouted. They'll have limited access coming in because Adams Lane Bridge will be a one-way. There'll be traffic backup. So some folks will have to go well out of their way if they're coming into like Judd or this side of town for the middle school. And the high school. So we just want everyone to know, we were well aware, we were informed as soon as the state let the township know, but it is not a township project nor a school project. We're just the beneficiaries of the fallout from this wonderful project. So we ask for patience and understanding, but we'll get through it. This Friday, we kick off our spring sports year. It seems unbelievable, right? School hasn't started, but did I say spring? I meant to say we spring into the fall season. We're not falling into the spring season. We're going to spring into the fall season. Our fall season begins this Friday. We're going to play Snyder at home. You know, our cheerleaders are all psyched. Our band is ready. Our football team is ready. But football isn't the only game in sports. Our girls' tennis team starts this Monday, August 31st, at 10 a.m. at Fed Park. Did I mention that the football at home, at our home field at 6 p.m., Friday night under the lights. And our girls' tennis will be 10 a.m. at Fed Park, August 31st. The girls' soccer and the boys' soccer team, they begin their season at September 1st at 4 o'clock. The girls will be home versus Woodbridge, and the boys will be on the bus to Scotch Plains at 4:30. I will give you the update. I believe the boys volleyball team is later that week. I don't have their schedule yet, but we also have a boys volleyball season that'll take place, and I will certainly, please check our website or schedule. They kick off sometime in the first week of school. So we have a full complement of sports ready to be kicked off. Another great information I received from our Middlesex County surrogate, giving me some inside information, and I thank you, former board member Ms. Clarabelle Cortez. She notified me that one of our fourth grade students at LP, Ash Bartolinsky, was a winner of the 2026 Middlesex County fourth grade poster contest. More than 200 fourth graders submitted artwork celebrating America's 250th anniversary, and Ash's design stood out for its creativity, symbolism, and inspiring representation of the American spirit. Not only that, the award-winning artwork is going to be seen even more throughout Middlesex County because his design will become the county's official I voted sticker for the 2026 general election.
Wow,
So
that is awesome.
we will, great job, Ed. We're going to bring him in and
Awesome.
his family in
I love that.
our next board meeting. It's still summertime, so when I just got informed of this. So I thank Mrs. Cortez for always keeping an eye out for our wonderful talent in North Brunswick. But we'll bring Ash in with the family and celebrate this
Wonderful.
really nice award. That will conclude my report this evening, Madam President.
Great, thank you so much. All right, we will jump to committee reports under the report section of the agenda. We had some committee brief updates yesterday, so I'll start out. Mr. Singh is filling in for Mr. Laboria as he couldn't be here tonight for Human Resources. So,
Yes.
Mr. Singh,
Thank you, Madam
your
President.
report, please.
Thank you, Madam President. Hopefully I do a good job as Mr. Liguori does, but the Human Resource Committee Relations Committee met on Tuesday, August 25th to discuss various personnel topics. For those on tonight's agenda who are resigning, the board thanks them for their service and wishes them well. Dr. Zukowski and Mr. Patea updated the committee on resigning, which resulted in student needs, were results of student needs and collapsing of sections and some resignations. Reassignments, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. There are 40 new staff members that were hired for the new school year. We have a combination of certified and non-certified staff that were hired. We welcome all of those to our district and look forward to having you work with us here in North Brunswick. Any remaining vacancies continue to be posted on and can be found on our district website, social media pages, and posted in each of our buildings. For any open teaching positions, alternate route and traditional route candidates are both encouraged to apply. We also discussed vacancies and other leaves of absences and how those positions may be filled. We also discussed for our own staff some mentor training, POP for Principals, which is Problems of Practice, Center of Model Schools, and the Keene Grant for AIDS. And this concludes tonight's Human Resource Committee reports.
Thank you so much, Mr. Singh. Business Operations, Mr. Carter, your update?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. The Business Operations Committee met on Tuesday, August 25th. We received status updates related to referendum upgrades related to the bathrooms, locker updates, the Dectron, and HVAC. On the agenda this evening, you'll find Finance 3E and F related to change orders for construction updates, Finance 3H related to paving work at Parsons, and Finance 3J related to the purchase of a kitchen steamer for NBTHS. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Education, Mr. Wen.
Yes, Madam President.
Thank you.
The Education Committee met on Tuesday, August 25th. We received updates regarding our Title I schools, Linwood and the middle school, and the admin teams are working on finalizing their goals for these schools. Side note, based on the percentage of students who qualify for assistance, Parsons may be designated as a Title I school next year. Additionally, the ESEA grant application has been submitted. We also discussed the access scores which were presented tonight, as well as the DLM score reports, which will be mailed to parents when they arrive. Finally, we are waiting for the NJ GPA results. However, the preliminary results were provided and it seems to be in line with expectations. New staff orientation was held earlier this week. We welcome you all to the district. The initial submissions to the Evaluation Information Systems, EIS, has been completed. There's also been updates to the Kim Marshall rubric for DEAC, the admin training. This new update replaces the previous one, which covered 2015 to 2024. We also received updates on the new My Perspective and My View literacy programs for grades 5 through 8. There's also plans to move our curriculum storage from Google Drive to a new platform called Toddle. This provides our district with enhanced storage and management for our curriculum. The curriculum team also completed their summer 2026 curriculum revisions. This is based on a 5-year cycle, and 29 course curriculums were updated, as noted in tonight's agenda. We had some exciting news from our special education program. Our district is looking to create a storefront where students in our 18 to 21-year-old program can sell coffee, desserts, and other items. We're also bringing in Unified Sports, which is sponsored by Special Olympics. We will start with basketball and flag football, and through this sponsorship, we qualify for $6,000 in reimbursements. We also had some updates regarding technology in the district. Staff will be required to go through 2 hours of AIPD. There's 648 new Wi-Fi access points will be installed across the district. New interior and exterior cameras have been installed in Linwood. Relay radios are replacing walkies in Linwood, the middle school, and the high school. And finally, in the agenda tonight under Policy 1B, we have a second and final reading of Policy PNR 5516, Student Use of Internet-Enabled Devices. And that concludes my report.
Thank you so much.
Madam President?
Yes.
Mr. Wen, may I just jump in? And I see Mr. Harry here. So I know you mentioned, as we discussed, that exciting part of a storefront coffee. So this is about our 18 to 21 program. It's been a few years in the making. We did some trips to Sayreville. They have a very exciting program, their 18 to 21 program, where they work with students and they actually report right to the store, creating a community hub. So we were looking at various storefronts. Our board president came in and did some checking out with us. I think it was Mr. Patella, myself, Ms. Toth, and then I turned it over to Dr. Harry and his team because they'll be running it and organizing. So we look forward to a full report of what we're trying to accomplish or what we find. If you remember, we were looking at with our wonderful attorney, Mayor from Metuchen was helping us out. So we have some updates in that, but we haven't finalized anything, so we'll get back to the community. I think it'll be exciting news, and it's a great opportunity for our students and having them contribute to the community. And in Sayreville, and I think it'll be very similar to what North Brunswick, they consider it the happiest place in town because the students do all the work and they run this wonderful coffee shop. So more to come on that, but I just wanted to emphasize people may not, what do you mean a storefront now? All be funded through special ed grants and capital projects if we have any work to do. So more to come on that, but really exciting news. And I didn't want to put Dr. Harry on the spot, but I'm sure he'll give a update within the coming board meetings.
Definitely. So excited for it. And the Sayreville Bombers Cafe is just it really is just such a happy place. The students, they're just amazing, and they're so welcoming, and they love having individuals from the community come and people like us from the outside community come. So I'm so excited to be personally involved in this and taking it to the next level, because it's now become a passion of mine. So I'm so super excited. But thank you, Mr. Wen, for your education report. That concludes the reports for the evening. I think that should wrap that section of the agenda up. So item 9, Ms. Cepeda, would you take item 9?
Absolutely. I move to approve the administrative and committee reports.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion? They've all been accepted.
Thank you. At this time, we will take a few moments to review our agenda. As prior months, of course, I always reiterate this, the board has received the agenda prior to tonight's meeting. Any changes to the agenda, since we have received it, are in bold, but we've had ample time to review everything. A lot of the agenda items were discussed in committees as well. So we'll go page by page. If any board members have any comments or questions, please feel free to stop me. So we'll start on page 2 and 3. And then pages 4 and 5. Pages 6 and 7. Eight and 9. Pages 10 and 11. Twelve and 13. Page 14 and 15. 16 and 17. (18) and 19. Pages 20 and 21. All items listed here are curriculum and instruction. Jumping over to 22 and 23, where we have miscellaneous and then the start of finance. Pages 24 and 25. (26) and 27. 28, 29, and then we wrap up on pages 30 and 31. So if there's no questions or comments from the board, seeing and hearing none, at this time we'll have a public session on agenda items only at this time. If anyone from the public would like to speak specifically to anything on the agenda, we just ask that you come up to the podium, state your name, and you'll be given 3 minutes. Okay. Seeing and hearing none from the public, can I please have a motion to close the public portion?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This session is closed.
Thank you. Mr. Wen, would you take item 13, consent agenda, please?
Yes, Madam President. I would like to make a motion to approve the following consent agenda items. Personnel 1 and 2, curriculum 1 to 2, miscellaneous, finance 1 to 3, policy and transportation.
Second. I'm going to do roll call. Mr. Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Cepeda?
Yes.
Ms. James?
Yes.
Dr. Patel?
Yes.
Mr. Singh?
Yes.
Ms. Sinha?
Yes.
Ms. Toth?
Yes.
And Mr. Wen.
Yes.
All the motions and resolutions are accepted.
Thank you. All right, we'll jump all the way to page 30, where we jump to item 16. At this time, we will have a public session on any matter. If anyone from the public would like to address the board, now is the time to speak on any matter. We just ask that you come up to the podium, state your name, and you'll be given 3 minutes.
Hey everybody, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Nice to see everybody. My name is Tim Cummings, and I'm actually a neighbor of yours. I'm an East Brunswick resident, so thank you for letting me crash your party this evening. So I actually had every intention to get here going back all the way to May of this year. I'm here wearing the hat of my profession, which is Court-Appointed Special Advocates of Middlesex County. I don't know if anybody has heard of the CASA of Middlesex County. So we serve foster youth across the county. So any child or youth who's been removed from their home due to abuse or neglect, we recruit and train advocates to accompany these children and to advocate for their best interests at the court. I have been meaning to come here, and I apologize it's taking me so long. It's just the way life goes, just to thank the North Brunswick District. So on April 29th, we celebrated our 20th anniversary with this grand event, and a jazz quartet from North Brunswick High School played at that event, and it was awesome. Mr. Stephen Komar, that name ring a bell? Yeah, and his team, these young people who just brought this tremendous amount of talent and beauty to this event and just uplifted it. I sent him a letter shortly thereafter, but I really did feel like it was important for me to come out here and express our gratitude. You guys just have an amazing group of people there. He was so awesome. It was literally just something that had come up. A board member kind of said one day as we were planning this event, hey, I heard this group from North Brunswick. They're really, really cool and did a great job. I don't even know where she heard them, but fast forward down the road, and Mr. Komar and these young people came and just performed and just blew everybody out of the water. It was just an awesome event. We had the lieutenant governor there that night, and more than anything, it was driving home attention and focus on a group of vulnerable young people that deserve the attention and focus. So I'll just read a brief portion from my letter that I sent to him just to share with you guys. But I wrote, on behalf of CASA of Middlesex County, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude for your incredible participation at our 20th anniversary gala. The event exceeded our expectations on every level, and the North Brunswick High School Jazz Quartet played an incredibly significant role in this effort. As you are aware, our organization supports children and youth across Middlesex County who have been removed from their homes due to abuse or neglect. Our 20th anniversary gala was a time to come together to honor and celebrate the goodwill of so many individuals and groups that have supported our cause over these many years. Your performance added so much joy, energy, and warmth to the evening and helped create a truly uplifting atmosphere for the attendees. It is beyond clear that your quartet possesses a tremendous amount of talent, and I am confident that you will continue to uplift those around you, just as you did on the day of this extraordinary event. Thank you again for contributing to such a meaningful and memorable experience. We wish you the best of luck with your artistic and academic pursuits. So they were great, and I just wanted to give you guys a shout out and thank you for sharing your gifts with the extended community. It really does mean a lot. And just a quick plug for CASA. I'm probably running out of time, but in the previous fiscal year, we just wrapped up on June 30th. There were 244 kids across Middlesex County who were removed from their homes. We served 183 of them. Wow. Just about 75%, which is awful news. I would love for our organization to be, out of business. I wish that there was not a need. But we're constantly recruiting and looking for more people. We have a lot of people, advocates from North Brunswick, who are helping to support us. If you know of anybody who's interested in giving at this level, have them give us a ring. We're local, we're nearby, and it's a great organization to help support and push forward. So thank you guys for everything, and I wish you all the best of luck with your new school year.
Thank you.
Mr. Cummings, hi. Thank you for the kind words, and we'll certainly relay to Mr. Komar the accolades and we have millions of viewers, so you just made him a household name. Yes, but as far as CASA, we have Dr. Harry, our Director of Pupil Personnel Services. I know we try to connect. Ms. Havens, that works for Dr. Harry, had reached out. So maybe before you leave, you can exchange contacts with Mr. Harry, Dr. Harry?
I've connected with a member of your team.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
okay.
Which is great. We have a call on Monday.
Oh, good. Okay.
Amazing.
I wanted to make sure because we know the great work that you're doing, and we certainly appreciate coming here of your time, and we know you give up a lot of time in East Brunswick. It's very thankless sometimes, but we thank you for have taken the time to honor one of ours, and we certainly look forward to kind of working with you, see what we can do to help. We have a wonderful community that gives a lot back to those who need it most.
Yeah, we appreciate the partnership. It's all about collaboration,
Okay.
and uplifting those most in need. So,
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
All right.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Beth Pasner, president of the North Brunswick Township Education Association. I just wanted to congratulate everybody on a great convocation today and welcome our staff and students back to the new school year. And also just wanted to let the board know that we will be present at the back to school nights as we are every year, having tables to help sign up our families for free and reduced lunch. It's something that's very important to our association, not just because of the financial need to do it for the district to make sure the district gets all the funds it deserves, but also because we want to make sure that our students are fed. And so I just wanted to let you know that, and good to see you all, and wishing you all a great start to the school year.
Same to you.
Thank you. Yes, same to you. All right. Anyone else from the public? Okay. Seeing and hearing none, can I please have a motion to close the public portion of the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We can go into closed session? Or we can close this session first.
Yes.
Sorry.
Thank you. Vice President James, do you want to take the motion for closed session?
Sure, happy to, Madam President.
Thank you.
Whereas Section 8 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances, and whereas this public body is of the opinion that such circumstances presented exists, now therefore be it resolved by the North Brunswick Township Board of Education that the public shall be excluded from discussion of and action upon the hereinafter specified subject matters. The general nature of the subject matters to be discussed is as follows: legal. It is anticipated at this time that the above stated subject matter shall be made public at such time as the need for non-disclosure no longer exists. This resolution shall take effect immediately.
Thank you. We just need a second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Now we can go into closed session.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Good to
guys.
see everyone. Good night.
Too soon?
I think David Wiles is.
Yeah. Oh, boy, that's too soon.
Bridgegate 2.0.
All right, well, we are back. Could we please have a motion to return to open session?
So moved?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are back in session.
Thank you so much. On behalf of the board, I just wanted to make sure everyone and give this message that everyone has a great school year, a safe, a happy, a healthy school year. We so look forward to being back with everyone. It's been a great summer. Witnessing some of the greatness that's been happening this summer is so amazing. We have an awesome staff, dedicated plant managers, custodial staff, maintenance that have been doing wonderful work in our buildings to get our buildings safe, secure, and ready for our students to come back next week. So on behalf of the board, I just wanted to wish everyone a happy school year. So at this time, we will just adjourn.
Motion?
So moved. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Thank you.